What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another match preview as Spurs travel up to Goodison Park. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. It's going to be a really, really tough game, as it always is, against Everton, and especially a Sean Dyche Everton as well. They made it really difficult for us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium a couple of months back, didn't they? And I anticipate another really, really tough clash. But, you know, you're looking at it, Everton not in the greatest form, are they? Struggling for wins at the moment. Spurs, on the other hand, they've been getting a couple of results of late. Got back to winning ways after the draw at Old Trafford at home to Brentford, but it wasn't the most convincing game. But they're definitely going to pose a lot of trouble for us, aren't they, Everton?
I'm worried about going into this game because I think Everton are the kind of team to really give us a lot of trouble. Physically, so strong from set pieces. I think tactically, there's a good chance they might play through at the back. They've been playing through at the back quite often recently. I think their last game they did. Obviously, they got a 0-0 draw recently at home to Aston Villa, where they gave them a really tough game home to Man City. Man City ended up winning that game 3-1, but in the first half they scored the first goal and giving Man City a lot of trouble, especially now given the fact they haven't won in 5. They've been scraping and scrapping for every point they can get, being in that relegation zone. They don't want to be in that position, so it's going to be a real tough battle. It's going to be a bit of a war out there. I feel they're going to try and bully us. They're going to try. I think they'll see what Brentford did to us on in midweek, and they're going to try and rile us up. They're going to put in a few strong challenges. They're going to try and bully us, and it's going to be how Tottenham respond to that. And can we continue to play our football? Can we keep our rhythm and play through them while they're being so aggressive? And as well, I've been looking at some of the stats, and they're near the top of the league for tackles in the final third. So they do press quite high and quite aggressive. They kind of pick their moments to do that, and we're one of the highest amount for giving the ball away in the final in our defensive third. So whether those two stats kind of combine to Spurs doing high turnovers, I'm quite worried about that. So we got to be very, very careful. We got to be very careful not to give away too many set pieces and allow them too many opportunities to get the ball in the box. They are top of the league for crosses in the penalty area, and that's something we do struggle with when we allow teams to get the balls in the box. So I think it's going to be so tough, and if we do come away playing up, winning that battle and come away with 3 points, I think it'll be a very, very impressive victory, because I'm not predicting a win here.
Yeah, but if you look at this predicted Everton lineup, they do have a lot of injuries. Onana, who's a massive element of their play. Decore as well, who's a doubt going into the game. Danjuma, who started last game. Andre Gomez, since he came back from injury, he looked really good as well. So it is a very much depleted Everton midfield, and I think that can stand us in good stead.
I hope so. Obviously, Idrissa Gueye will be back. Was with Senegal, the AFCON, and he's going to be available. But obviously, he's going to be similar to Sarr, whether he's going to be available for this game. But adding that still is definitely going to be really beneficial to them. But they're so strong. Even with Onana's a doubt, we're not sure if he's going to play or not. I think Decore is probably out. Garner has been a really good player for them this season. So it's going to be a real tough midfield battle. If you look at their stats in terms of the amount of tackles they make in the middle third, they're top of the league. So that's where they get most of their joy when it comes to how strong they are in the defensive duels, is in that middle third. They have a really good mid block. They make it so difficult to play through, and it's going to be really difficult for Spurs, I feel, to play the football they want in the middle of the park. It might have to be a case of trying to get it out wide, but getting crosses in the box is where they want you. They want you to be getting out wide and putting crosses in the box, because their centre-backs are going to relish that. They're very good at making clearances. They're very strong, especially if they're going to play a back three. It's going to be very difficult to be getting joy when it comes to whipping crosses in the box. So unless we're hitting them very quickly like we do with Brentford in the beginning of that second half, I do feel like we're going to have a lot of trouble playing the football that we want to play. They're going to try and stop us playing that football, and it's going to be on Tottenham to kind of win that midfield battle and then take control of this game, and it's going to be difficult.
And that's exactly what we did though at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it? We got 2 early goals and we kind of rided out the storm from then on until the end of the game. They put us under a lot of pressure. They got that goal back, and they could have had another one. They could have taken away a point at least at Spurs when we played them last time. But I do think, with what you're saying, how combative they are in the middle of the park, like Onana is just so central to that, and I think he's their best midfielder. I think he would fit into a top 6 midfield as well. That's how good I actually think he is. And if he is out for this game, I do think it doesn't take away completely that element, because you know what, Sean Dyche always sets its team up to be physical, aggressive, win the ball back countless amount of times. But I do think with Onana out, if he is going to be out, I do think that with the midfielders that we have, we can kind of win that midfield battle.
Yeah, that's going to be the key, I think, is in that midfield because of how strong Everton are. And I do agree with you. Onana is central in terms of how much ground he can cover, how many challenges he puts in, how aggressive he is. Without him, they do lose that bit of bite in the middle. So 100%, that'll be a bit more of a struggle. But as you say, with Trezeguet coming back in, they've still got good players there. So I think Everton are going to be absolutely scrapping and battling for every single challenge in this game. They're going to be well up for it as well, I feel, because it's such an important home game. They did have a string of losses, but they have kind of stopped the rot. They drew 0-0 away at home to Villa, and they drew 0-0 away at Fulham. In both games, they put in really good performances as well. They always give a tough game at home, so it's whether we can win that midfield battle. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ange approaches it, because against Brentford, obviously we went with Skip and Bentancur, and we ended up he forced it to change at half-time, put Kulusevski in the middle, brought Højbjerg on, and it completely changed it in the element of how we were playing. But is he going to feel like, do we need those battlers in there for the game, or is he going to stick with Kulusevski in the centre? That's a question mark.
I don't think he will stick with Kulusevski in the centre. I think Højbjerg comes in from the start in this game. I think we're going to need his battling presence in the middle of the park. It'll be a bit... I do think Skip is going to miss out, but it will be unfortunate for him because he's actually on a bit of good form at the moment. He had a good first half after getting taken off against Brentford in midweek, had a good game against Manchester United a couple of weeks before that as well. So I think it will be a bit unfortunate for Skippy to miss this one out, but Maddison needs to be there for sure. He's got that guile, that creativity. He's got that off-the-ball work as well. Højbjerg, in my opinion, should be starting. I think he put in a good display in that second half against Brentford with a spirited performance. And the third man in midfield is a bit of a toss-up. It depends if Sarr is ready to start and he's fit and he's fine, then Sarr has to play as well.
But I guess
all three of them are good battling midfielders.
And it gives us good options, because if Sarr's fit, then even if he's not fit for 90 minutes, you've got Bentancur to come on. And if Sarr's not fit, you start Bentancur. And if he's struggling in the game for whatever reason, then you've got Sarr to come on to contribute as well. So it gives us definitely good options, but definitely some big decisions for Ange to make going into this one. He did say at the end of the Brentford game in his press conference that it's a short turnaround between Brentford and this game, probably the shortest turnaround in the this weekend. And so he is going to have to maybe make some changes to give this team energy. So where those changes come is going to be very interesting. I expect, the front three, Werner, I'd expect him to keep his place, and Richarlison, but he's got a decision to make on the right-hand side. Does he go with Brennan, who came on and scored? Does he stick with Kulu, who obviously started the game but didn't have his best game? Does he maybe bring in Emerson as one of the fullbacks getting tired as well? Do maybe we need energy of the fullback, or can he stick with both fullbacks as well in this game, because it's been they've played every game? Do they need a break? Do they need does Davis come in maybe? Does Emerson? So maybe, and is there a choice? Is there even a chance we go to a back three, or even Dragusin comes in for Romero van der Ven with Everton's aerial threat? His Dragusin's ability in the air could be invaluable in this game if he does start. So again, that's another decision. And maybe does a back three even make sense if Everton are going back three? You have maybe Maddison and Højbjerg in the centre, and maybe that front three. Could that work? Maybe potentially.
Yeah, I think it could work, but do we really need to match them up? Surely, do we not look at ourselves and just try and play our own football, try play out from the back and try pass around Everton? I know it'd be difficult, and a lot of teams do try and do that without much success. But I think if Spurs get the ball on the deck and play the football that we know we can, which we haven't been doing the past couple of weeks, let's be honest. But I think with the players that we have, if we can have a good game with Kulusevski on the right-hand side, Timo Werner, who's playing well at the moment, Richarlison, first of all, he's going to love a goal against Everton, especially at Goodison Park, but he's on firing form at the moment. I think we got the players that can beat whatever Everton throw at us.
It's going to be very crucial as well that we stop Everton's left-hand side. That's the side I look at where it's most danger, because usually they've got Mikalenko at left back, they've got McNeil on the left wing, and those two players have got great delivery. They've got really good left foots, and if they are finding too much space on the left hand side, which is the side we usually get caught in terms of Porro being out of position, when teams target us, it's usually down that right. Not to say Porro's a bad player, that's why they target him. It's just where the space is usually.
But that's why it's imperative for Pape Matar Sarr to play in this weekend, because whenever Sarr isn't there, I feel like we get caught out on that right hand side a lot more. When Sarr's there, he's like that. He just never stops running. He's always there to cover Porro when he's caught high up the pitch. That's why it's imperative for someone like Pape to play.
100%. And Dwight McNeil, I think, has been in great form recently.
He's had a great season.
He's had a great season. He's got amazing delivery when you give him time and space, and especially from corners as well. I think his delivery is usually spot on. So it's going to be crucial that we don't allow them up the pitch and allow them to gain those set pieces, because that can make all the difference. If we give them some early corners and they get a goal early on, the crowd's going to get behind them, and all of a sudden it's going to be very difficult to shift that momentum. And Everton, once they get the crowd behind them, they turn so intense, they can be so aggressive, and that momentum can be hard to stop. So it's very important that early on we don't give them any encouragement. We dominate the ball, we quiet them a bit, and then maybe manage our way into the game and start opening them up. But I don't expect us going into this game to start fast. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be a bit of a slog. It's going to be very difficult to manage. I don't think it's going to be pretty football in this game. I really don't. I think it's going to be a bit of a battle. I think it's going to be difficult to control the game. But if we can get control of the game, I think we can go on to win it. But I think gaining that control is going to be the most difficult thing in this one.
It's mad, isn't it? Because you cast your mind back 3-4 years ago, we actually had a really good record at Goodison Park. Now we haven't won there since that 6-2 win. Under Pochettino, that
we haven't won, but we haven't
performance.
lost.
We haven't lost either. It's been a draw every single time. I mean, obviously, I think a draw is a poor result in this game with the form that Everton are on. Yeah, I know it's going to be a difficult game, but just because it's a difficult game doesn't mean we can't go there and win the game. Everton are just on poor form at the moment. We need to take advantage of that. And we need to get back to the football that we've been playing for the majority of the season. And I think I bring it back to Pape Matar Sarr, because without Pape in the midfield, I just feel like ever since he's been out, we have lost that bit of balance. And you saw that when he was out injured. He came back in for that Newcastle game. You saw that balance come back to the whole team. And I feel like if he could be the difference in this game. I really believe that.
I think where we win the game is if we can match their energy, if we can out-battle them. That is going to be the key. Obviously, even if we don't out-battle them and we manage to completely out-football them and play like prime Barcelona, yeah, we can win, but I don't think we're there yet. We're not at that level, so we need to match their energy and their fight if we're going to win this game, because they're going to come with their full armory, their full physicality and intensity. When we're playing at goal kicks, right, we're going to be playing it short. They're going to be absolutely pressing us. They're not going to be sitting back. Obviously, they do tend to sit back. If we do beat their press, they will then have to retreat and sit back. But when we're starting our build-up, they're going to be super aggressive, and it's whether we can play quick enough around them and beat their press and then find those opportunities, or is it going to be a case of playing in transition? They're going to be trying to win the tackles, and we're going to have to basically match that, win tackles back, and then transition very quickly into the likes of Werner, and whether it be Kulusevski or Johnson or Maddison, going up the other end and finding those pockets of space. I do think the space is going to be very, very difficult to find here. And if we're not finding the space, we do sometimes struggle when we're trying to swing crosses in the box, trying to find Richarlison. He's obviously very good in the air, but apart from Richarlison, I don't look at too many other players where they're getting on the end of things at the moment in the box, unfortunately. So we need to maybe have more physical players making late runs in the box, getting on the end of things, helping Richarlison out. And we've got to make sure that, first of all, at the beginning of the game, if we do give away possession a few times and they're on top of us, we don't kind of get overawed by that. We don't all of a sudden stop playing out from the back and panic and go long, which I don't think we will. We've showed we won't this season. But if the crowd are getting up and they are making a few strong challenges, we have to match that energy. We can't let them bully us, and that's going to be the key here. And I'm worried. And look, we're a young team and we're still learning our way. I don't think we have been bullied in many games, but I remember, Wolves at home, Wolves away, we definitely struggled in that game where they came with that intensity and energy, and we didn't match it, unfortunately, in that game, and we ended up losing. And I worry this could be a similar story here.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in that Wolves game, we were 1-0 up for literally 90 minutes up until 2 goals in stoppage time where we let it slip. And I'm looking at our away form at the moment, and since second half at Man City we were brilliant, second half at Arsenal we were brilliant, but apart from that, you're looking at the Man United game, wasn't the greatest performance. Brighton game, we got absolutely torn to shreds. Against Nottingham Forest, we won the game, but we didn't put in a great performance, did we? Wolves, we lost, like I said, last 2 minutes we conceded, but again, we didn't play well. Crystal Palace, we won 2-1. Again, wasn't the greatest performance. So is there something about this team away from home? Like, we're not getting consistent results away from home. We're not particularly playing well away from home. Luton away as well, apart from the first 10, 15 minutes. Again, we weren't great in that game, down to 10 men. Another element to this game as well is that when teams try and rough us up a bit and try and wind us up a bit, we do kind of fall down to that pressure sometimes. You saw it in the first half against Brentford. They were trying to wind us up and you saw us getting wound up and we didn't put in a good display. Chelsea game, we lost our heads in the first half, getting 2 men sent off in that game. So do you think that's an element to this game where Everton can try to get under our skins a little bit?
Definitely. And we're only 1 win in 5 away from home. Look, playing away from home in the Premier League is obviously very difficult. We're actually doing quite well results-wise. We're still 4th in the league in terms of away results. So overall, we're doing okay. But performance level, it's a lot more difficult to play your football when teams are in front of their home crowd. They up their intensity, don't they? They up their aggression. And I think we've been suffering because of that. And it's very, very difficult to continue to play the way we want. I do think we have spells. You know, when we went to Arsenal away, we were under the cosh. We obviously we were losing, but we grew into the game. And I feel like once we grow into games and gain control, then we have that confidence to play our football. And that's what we need to do in this game. But 100%, if we allow Everton to bully us and, you know, control the transitions, allow them to play long and win second balls and win set pieces and then come flying into tackles in centre mid and not allow us, stop us from playing our way, then I think it becomes a bit of a slodge and it becomes a very difficult game to manage. And that's what I'm worried, to be honest, going into this game, it's going to turn into. I do see us struggling a lot in this game. I'll be super impressed if we go into this game, dominate, like play pretty football and just win the game comfortably. I'll be very impressed because I don't think we will. I think it's going to be a very different game to that. And to be honest, I'll be very surprised if we win going into this game.
I think not many teams will go to Everton and do that and play pretty football and just swipe Everton away. But teams can go to Everton and get a result. If they work hard, they're gritty, they put their chances away, they're clinical, because you won't get that many chances at Everton. You know, they're a very good defensive side. They keep a lot of clean sheets. I think they've kept 3 clean sheets in their last 4 or 5 games or something, 3 0-0s in there or something. So look, we just need to be clinical. We need to be as clinical as possible. And I think with Richarlison, with the form that he is in, I think we can do that. It's important for Timo Werner to carry on and keep progressing the way he is, because I think he's getting better and better as the games progress. My worry in terms of the attack is the right-hand side, because Kulu, Dechi, I don't think is playing well at the moment. Brennan Johnson, yeah, he's scored, but I don't think he's playing too well at the moment. So I am worried about that side of the pitch.
Yeah, and that's as well Everton's strong side, which I alluded to before, and we know Mikalenko. So definitely they have to up their game. Hopefully Werner can get a bit of joy out of Nathan Patterson on the left-hand side. Hopefully he's got the beating of him. I think a lot of it as well is how much we can get Maddison on the ball. If we can get him on the ball a lot and getting a lot of touches, I think there's a good chance we control the game. But if they're marking him out the game and he's not having an influence, then I can see it turning a bit.
That's the thing. Like when we played Everton, we went there we played them with a completely depleted team, didn't we? Didn't we have like Emerson and Davis at the back, no Maddison, a lot of players out injured. Obviously, we don't have Heung-min Son this game, but we're going to have a settled defence now with Romero and Van de Ven at the back, potentially Dragusin if he wants to go that way. And hopefully Pape Sarr will be there and we'll have a much better outfit to go and face Everton with. So I think having said that, I think we go and take the 3 points. I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we can go there. I think we can show our quality, and I think we do have the better players, and I think quality will shine through.
I hope you're right. I see a bit of a struggle. It
will be a struggle. I'm not doubting that.
I think it's going to be 1-1. That's my prediction. I don't think we're going to go there and win. I think Everton are scrapping so much. I think they're going to come and try and bully us. I think in my work, to be honest, I think we're going to struggle to really play the football we want to play. I think we will find a few moments of quality through the game because of just how good we are, and that will be a consequence of us scoring. But I think Everton will score. I think from a set piece or something they will score, and I don't know if we'll have enough to go and win the game. So I've gone for 1-1.
Calvert, I'm probably going to put the kiss of death in it now, but I mean, I haven't been impressed with Calvert-Lewin this season. I think he's struggling for form. He's struggling for confidence. So hopefully that carries on in this game. But now I've said that, he probably goes and scores this weekend. He likes a goal against Spurs, though, doesn't he? Calvert-Lewin. Did he score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this year?
And it was Gomez.
It was Gomez.
Who's out. Who was probably man of the match in that game, luckily.
He was brilliant. That was his first game or second game back or something like that, but he was brilliant. But I think we can be more clinical from them. I am worried about in terms of defending set pieces and that, and I think they will score. I agree, but I'm going to go for 2-1 victory for Tottenham. I'm going to be up there at Goodison Park. Early start for me. I think starting the drive about 7 in the morning or something like that to get there for a 12:30 kickoff. Sim and Barnaby will be here in the studio for the watch-alongs, so come and join them live as the action unfolds. But that is our match preview. Like, subscribe, and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.